There are two really big mistakes that you can make that can cause permanent damage to your art in Procreate. But once you know how to avoid those two mistakes, no matter how technologically challenged you may feel, you really can't mess things up too badly in your digital art. Most everything else has a solution. Irreversible mistake number 1. So let's say that Procreate is acting weird and you can't figure it out. You might be tempted to try to uninstall and reinstall the app to fix it, but never, please, I beg you, I repeat, never, never, never delete and reinstall the app. Uninstalling the app is going to delete everything. All of your artwork, all of your custom brushes, all of your color palettes, they're going to be permanently lost. And I have heard too many heartbreaking stories of people thinking that they're going to fix some glitch by uninstalling and deleting the app, only to lose years of hard work. Irreversible mistake number 2, don't delete your individual artwork from Procreate without having it backed up somewhere else. Once it's deleted, you can't get it back. Now, you might be tempted to think, well, that's fine because I've got a backup on iCloud, right? Well, unfortunately, that might not be the case. If you don't have Procreate toggled on in your iCloud backup settings, the app won't be included in any backup. But let's say you don't have enough space on iCloud to back everything up. Well, you can also share your art to your computer, Dropbox, or an external hard drive. You can actually go to the Share tab and export your files using the Procreate format, and it'll save both your artwork and the time-lapse of your work. You can also export your color palettes and custom brushes. Have you ever tried to color drop an object, only to find that when you did, it left this weird, ugly white line all the way around your object? What the heck? Why is this happening? Well, you could painstakingly repaint over all of those areas, but there's actually a faster way to deal with this problem. So this time, I'm going to drag and drop my color circle on here, but I'm not going to lift up my pencil. And you'll notice that up at the top, it says color drop and a threshold with a percentage. If I drag my pencil from the right to the left side of the screen, you'll notice that that percentage is increasing, and also this line is slowly disappearing. Now, if I drag this all the way across to 100%, it's going to let the color spill out to the entire canvas. So you'll need to find the sweet spot for your particular art. Let's say that you're trying to draw this cute little cat, but you decide you want to make it bigger. But when you resize it, now it looks blurry. Why is this happening? So Procreate creates using raster art, which means that the art is made up of pixels. The more you zoom into the canvas, you're going to see that each pixel, there's a little dot that makes up the image. As the artist, when you draw, you are making and refining these dots to pixel perfection. You're really good at that. Now, when you resize something smaller, Procreate has to decide which pixels to remove, and it's pretty good at that. But when you try and make the art bigger, Procreate has to guess what kind of pixels to add to your art. And guess what? Humans win this round. You are way more talented than the machine. Procreate is just not that good at guessing what kind of pixels to add. Now, in an ideal world, you should avoid resizing your final art. When you are working on a sketch, it's totally fine to resize things as necessary, and then once you've got the final size, you can draw your final art and all the details and all the color. But what if you need to resize something after you've finished all the details? Well, luckily, Procreate has a couple of different methods for guessing how to add these pixels. If you tap here, you'll have the chance to choose between different interpolation methods. Depending on the style of your artwork, whether you've got really smooth lines or it's really heavily textured, different options will work better than others, so you can experiment to see what works best for your art. Some people will tell you you need the best top-of-the-line iPad to create the best art. These people are rich and wrong. Carla Alcazar is an amazing illustrator who's worked for many magazines and clients, and she made that professional art on one of the oldest, cheapest iPad models. And sometimes that meant that she was only working on a handful of layers at a time. Having fancy, expensive tech does not make you a better artist. You can make incredible art on the most basic of iPad models. Yes, having the higher-end iPad can make some things easier. You get more layers, a brighter screen, and newer iPads are faster than old ones. If you can afford a nicer iPad, you should totally get it. But top-of-the-line iPads have gotten so good in the last few years that they just may be overkill for some artists, even professionals. However, there is one piece of tech that will make the difference between an enjoyable, relaxing drawing experience and a frustrating one. It's the difference between drawing with a pen and paper or trying to draw with an oversized marker on a Post-it pad. And that difference is the correct Apple Pen stylus. Now beware, not all Apple Pencils are made equal. See, many people try to save money by going with a cheaper stylus, and then they can't understand why everyone's raving about the drawing on the iPad because they don't get the hype. So what is the big deal about the Apple Pencil anyway? Well, it's all about tilt and pressure sensitivity. See, if you press harder on a colored pencil, it's going to get darker. If you press harder on a paintbrush, the line gets thicker or thinner. Pressure and tilt sensitivity gives digital artists that natural feeling of actually drawing. Whether you're a total beginner or a hobbyist or a professional, it's going to make a world of difference in your drawing experience to have that tilt and pressure sensitivity. But like I said, not all Apple Pencils are created equal. You need to make sure that you get the right one for your model of iPad, and at all costs, avoid the cheaper USB-C Apple Pencil because that one doesn't have pressure sensitivity. When you're learning a new digital art app, there's nothing quite as fun as following a step-by-step tutorial that guides you through creating some really beautiful art. But is following art tutorials a bad idea? Tutorials are like training wheels on a bike. Training wheels allow you to practice skills like steering and the brakes while taking care of balancing the bike for you. See, in a step-by-step art tutorial, the hard work and problem solving has been done for you. The original artist has figured out how much detail to add, how to simplify the subject down into something that looks good, and what colors look good together. And this is not necessarily a bad thing, especially when you're trying to learn a specific skill. It can help to have some of the other factors taken care of for you. See, in my Procreate for Beginners class, it's all project-based so that you can focus solely on learning how to use the app while getting the satisfaction of making something that looks good and that you're proud of. And that's not exactly a bad thing when you're trying to learn a new skill and you're letting somebody else take care of all the other factors. But after you're done with a tutorial, what you're left with is a copy of someone else's art. Once you're ready to start making your own art, the best thing that you can do is start to learn the fundamentals of art making. But don't you have to be talented to draw? Yeah, see, this is the big secret. Drawing is a skill that anyone can learn. There are techniques and methods and tools for drawing. And even the most talented artists, they learned how to draw. They weren't just born knowing how to do it. And I've seen this firsthand through the thousands of people that I've taught how to draw. And if you'd like to learn my simple 3-step method to draw anything, check out this video next.